In March 2026, a river of lava crossed a coastal highway, reached the Indian Ocean, and began adding new land to France. Not the France of vineyards, snowy Alps, or Paris streets. This happened nearly 10,000 kilometers from Paris, on a tropical island east of Madagascar. Here, salaries are paid in euros, French law applies, and a European island is still being built by fire in the Indian Ocean. This is Reunion. So what is daily life like when the volcano beneath your home is still building the ground beneath your feet? Find Madagascar on a map, move east into the blue, and a small island appears. It is only about 2,500 square kilometers, yet it rises from the ocean to peaks above 3,000 meters. Reunion is a French overseas department and an outermost region of the European Union. It is not a colony or a separate country. It is an integral part of France, with French schools, elections, public services, and passports. A direct flight from Paris takes roughly 11 hours. Almost 911,000 people live here. French is the official language, although the language heard in homes, markets, and music is often Reunion Creole. On paper, the island is easy to classify. Then you step outside the airport. Saint-Denis wakes beneath palms and steep green hills. Buses move through French roundabouts. Baguettes leave the bakery while mangoes, pineapples, chilies, and vanilla brighten the market. The details seem to change from one street to the next. Creole houses with delicate wooden trim sit near modern shops. A cathedral, Tamil temples, Chinese restaurants, and Love France's oldest mosque share the same city. This closeness is not a tourism slogan. It is part of the island's ordinary rhythm. At a food counter, a samosa may be followed by a bouchon, then a plate of rice, beans, curry, and sharp tomato rougale. The ingredients carry memories from India, China, Madagascar, East Africa, and Europe, but the meal belongs entirely to Reunion. People do not spend the morning explaining this mixture. They are living it. For most of human history, this island had no permanent population. Settlement began in the 17th century under French colonial rule. Coffee came first on a large scale, sugar followed. Both depended on a system of slavery that brought African and Malagasy people to the island by force. Slavery was finally abolished here on December 20th, 1848. Afterward, laborers arrived in large numbers from India, and later migration continued from China, the Comoros, Madagascar, and mainland France. That history is painful, and it cannot be reduced to a cheerful image of a melting pot. But its descendants created a culture that is neither imported France nor a copy of any neighboring island. It is visible in family names, places of worship, puchin tables, and the Creole language itself. Even the island's name feels unexpectedly appropriate. Reunion, a coming together. From the coast, the island climbs quickly into another world. Volcanic collapse, heavy rain, and erosion carved 3 enormous natural amphitheaters into the mountains: Salazie, Silaus, and Mafate. Waterfalls spill through forest. Roads fold into impossible bends. Clouds appear, disappear, and return before breakfast is over. UNESCO protects more than 100,000 hectares of these peaks, cirques, and sheer rock walls, an area covering about 40% of the island. Mafate is the most isolated. There is no road into its scattered settlements. Residents and visitors arrive on foot, while helicopters carry supplies and handle emergencies. For someone on the coast, a supermarket may be minutes away. For a family inside Mafate, distance is measured in steep hours on a trail. And above all of it stands the force that made the island. Piton de la Fournaise means peak of the furnace. At 2,631 meters, it is one of the most active volcanoes on Earth. The landscape around it looks almost lunar: rust-red plains, black cliffs, and old lava hardened into waves. Farther down the slope, vegetation begins the slow work of covering the rock again. The mountain woke twice in early 2026. A second eruption began on February 13th and continued for more than a month. 3 lava flows cut the coastal road. By March 16th, molten rock was pouring into the Indian Ocean for the first time in nearly 2 decades. Where lava met seawater, it created an acidic plume of steam and volcanic gas. The spectacle was beautiful, but getting close was dangerous. For scientists, every tremor becomes data. For residents, the observatory's updates can shape a road trip, a hike, a school day, or a night spent watching the glow from a safe distance. The volcano is not a visitor to Reunion. It is an unpredictable neighbor. Follow the lava toward the coast and the colors change again. On the west side, a coral reef shelters long sections of shallow turquoise lagoon. The island's marine reserve extends along 40 kilometers of coast, protecting coral habitat and thousands of marine species. Children wade through clear water, divers search for turtles beyond the beach, and during the austral winter, humpback whales pass the island on their migration. But the ocean here is not simply decoration. It feeds families, carries local fishing traditions, and reminds everyone how small the island is. In the space of a single day, you can watch sunrise over lava, eat lunch beneath mountain waterfalls, and end beside a reef glowing in the late sun. That beauty is real. So is the cost of living this far from everything else. Reunion uses the euro, but an island price tag does not always feel like one in mainland France. In Kona INSEE's latest island summary, consumer prices were about 9% higher than in mainland France. For food, the gap was 37%. Anything imported must cross an ocean before it reaches a shelf. Work is another pressure. In 2025, 16% of the labor force was unemployed, more than twice the rate in metropolitan France, even after several years of improvement. These numbers live inside ordinary decisions: what goes into a shopping basket, whether a young adult stays or leaves, and how a family balances a French public system with an island economy. Reunion may be fully part of France. Distance still sends a bill. After dark, another kind of history becomes audible. Maloya is music, song, and dance born among enslaved people of Malagasy and African origin on the sugar plantations. A lead voice calls, a chorus answers, percussion turns memory into movement. For generations, Maloya carried worship, grief, and resistance. Today, it mixes with rock, reggae, jazz, poetry, and slam. UNESCO recognizes it as part of humanity's intangible cultural heritage. But on Reunion, it does not survive because a list protects it. It survives because people still play it. In courtyards, festivals, and concert halls, the rhythm connects a difficult past to a culture confident enough to keep changing. The mountain makes new land. The people make new meaning. From far away, Reunion can be described in a sentence. A French island near Madagay went to a loud family, adult cell family, gas family. Up close, that sentence falls apart. France explains the passport, the euro, and the institutions. It does not fully explain a Creole conversation in the market, a helicopter carrying bread into Mafati, a family recipe crossing 4 continents, or a drum answering another drum after sunset. The volcano explains how the island was made. It does not explain how people made it home. Reunion lives between fire and water, Europe and the Indian Ocean, memory and reinvention. It is France, and it is unmistakably Reunion.